We gather all things involved in an investigation. We request and gather the reports, the videos, 911 calls. So basically we just gather everything, medical records, and we compile that to assist in the prosecution of the case.
Okay. Are you a post-certified police officer?
I am.
All right. And how long have you been employed with the District Attorney's Office?
I've been with the District Attorney's Office for 14 years.
All right. And prior to that, how were you employed?
I started my career in 2002 with the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office.
All right.
And then I left there in 2010 and came to the District Attorney's Office.
Okay. And in terms of the function of your role as a post-certified investigator with the District Attorney's Office, what does that look like in terms of working together with the investigating agency, like in this case, Canton Police Department? Once they make an arrest, how does that sort of impact your role and how you interact with that agency?
So we're here to assist the law enforcement agencies during or after the arrest. We further investigate because once they make the arrest, they still investigate the case, but there's some things that they can't do that we are able to further investigate, such as reviewing, in this case, cell phone extractions and listening to jail calls and things like that. We have a good relationship with our local law enforcement officers, and they usually involve us on the front end, which is very helpful to the investigation and prosecution of the case.
Okay. How long have you been involved in this case?
Since the incident date of December the 8th of 2020.
Okay. And what was your involvement in that case on December the 8th?
So the Special Victims Unit was created in October of 2020, and I was assigned as the investigator to the unit. Oftentimes law enforcement will reach out to us with certain cases, and they reached out to us in this case, and so members of our office traveled to the Canton Police Department on the incident date.
On December the 8th?
Yes.
Okay. What was happening at the police department when you went there on December the 8th?
They were conducting the interviews. All parties were brought to the Canton Police Department for interviews to further the investigation.
Okay. Did you participate in those interviews or just observe?
I just observed those interviews.
Okay. And have you been consistently assigned as the investigator on this case with the District Attorney's Office since that date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you mentioned that sort of one of your responsibilities as an investigator with the District Attorney's Office is to review the evidence that gets provided, including cell phone extractions. Did you do that in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And we talked about Ms. Driver's cell phone in State's Exhibit 115. As part of your work on this case, did you receive the complete cell phone extraction from that device?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I collected those from the Canton Police Department, their evidence department.
Okay. And we heard testimony from Lindsay Harris, the digital forensics expert who extracted that device. But when you are going through the device, are you familiar with what's known as the UFED reader?
Yes, ma'am.
And what is that?
So the UFED reader, it actually allows us to open the cell phone extraction itself, and we're able to view the items within the cell phone. It actually allows us to search for certain terms and create reports like searched items, text messages. We can narrow down the search and pull and create reports.
Okay. And so when you were starting sort of your analysis and generating of smaller reports from that device, I think we previously heard there was an 84,000 page report generated at one point by Ms. Harris. But as it relates to narrowing it to a more relevant scope to the allegations in this case, did you have a sort of a starting point for what you were looking at?
I did. So in Detective Cruz's report, part of my job is also to review all the reports, and in reviewing those, she had completed a search, and she notated in her report that she had searched the cell phones, and she had located some terms that were searched in the phone. So what I did is I took the phone, and I further searched those items and pulled the reports. Because Detective Cruz, she did not pull the reports, but she did notate that she observed those items within the phone. Okay.
And when you use the term pull the reports, are you meaning generate like a smaller report with specific criteria pulled from the phone?
Yes. It forms a PDF, a viewable PDF form.
Okay. I'm going to hand you Exhibit 128 through 132. Can you look at these and tell me whether you recognize those documents?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What are these?
These are the reports that I generated using the UFED reader, using key terms.
Okay. And do these truly and accurately reflect condensed data that you pulled from the phone extraction from Chloe Driver's device here, states 115?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time I would tender states 128 through 132. No objection.
All right, 128 through 132 are admitted.
I'd like to publish States Exhibit 128.
Go ahead.
All right, Jarrett. What are we looking at here?
So this is an extraction report that I generated. And so the searched item was kill. And so this is the report that the UFED reader generated.
Okay, so you were able to go into that UFED reader, do a search term for the word kill, and these were the things that populated?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in item number 1, the left column where they're numbered, what was the term searched on her phone?
Killing somebody to save them.
Okay, and what was the date of that?
November the 25th of 2020.
Okay. And then in 2 and 3, we see the same search terms?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then in line 4, what was searched?
Killing because the world is fake.
All right. And this is a 1-page report that you generated with 8 searched items. Was that all of the information that related to the word kill?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
As far as the searched items, yes, ma'am.
Okay, you said as far as the searched items, are there different places in the phone or categories of content you can go look in?
There are on the left-hand side when you're doing or you're searching the phone. There are different categories that you can search within. You can search within text messages. You can search within web history, or web searches, and you can also search in searched items. So this was inside the searched items in the phone.
Okay, so you narrowed the word kill in the things that had been searched on that phone.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, and I'm going to publish States Exhibit 129. What are we looking at in States Exhibit 129?
This is an extraction from the cell phone. Neck was the key term used. This is something also that Detective Cruz had notated in her report, so that's why I searched for neck.
Okay, and in line item 1, what do we see was searched and on what date?
How to snap a neck, and that was on December the 2nd of 2020.
Okay, and had that same term been searched on prior dates?
Yes, also on November the 30th of 2020.
Okay. And then I'd like to go to publish States Exhibit 130. And tell the jury how is this web history report in States Exhibit 130 different from the searched items report we just looked at?
So like I explained earlier, this was the search within the web history rather than the searched items. So I put in the keyword neck inside the web history to search for that.
Okay. And does this show in line 1, is that a Google search?
It is.
And what did she search?
It's how to snap a neck.
Okay, and what was the date of that?
That was December the 2nd of 2020.
Okay. And then in web history, does it also show websites that are visited?
Yes, it does.
Okay. So in line 2, what was the sort of website that was visited in relation to the search term neck?
It's the www.quora.com. And it returned how hard is it to kill someone by twisting their neck. And then it says movies make it look really easy. How much force would be needed? That was as a question.
All right, and what was the date of that?
That was December the 2nd of 2020.
Okay. And then item 3, is that a similar webpage?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then items 4 and 5, is that the same Quora website you already referenced?
It is. It appears the date is different.
Okay, that was visited on multiple dates?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let me go back to the first one. We have the first one being December the 2nd in line item 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then in line item 3?
December the 1st, 2020.
Okay, and item 4?
December the 1st, 2020.
And item 5?
It is November the 30th of 2020.
Okay, and item 6?
November the 30th of 2020,
Okay.
as
And
well as 7.
item 7 is, what is that?
That is a Google search.
Okay, another Google search of how to snap a neck?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And item 8?
November the 30th of 2020, how to snap a neck.
Okay. And then what are these at the bottom?
These appear to be links to Walmart. I'm not sure, maybe the word neck may be embedded
In the item number?
in the item.
Okay.
Or it might have been, yes, it is embedded, I see it. It could be an item related to a neck.